He ran a lifetime best in Paris, but just missed out on a medal. So what's next? What's his master plan? A lot to explore with our special guest, two-time Commonwealth gold medalist and 2017 World Champion gold medalist, Jereem, the Dream Richards from Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome to another episode of Out the Blocks on our SportsMax platforms. I'm Leighton Levy, and with me the recent birthday boy, D Major. Of course, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment, like, and share our content. Straight out of blocks, though, Jereem Richards, and I'm not sure whether to say commiserations, because when somebody runs 43.78, that's something that you celebrate. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. Sorry I had to meet you all under these circumstances. I ran a little bit busy today, but it's still a pleasure to just be here on the whole. Thank you.
No problem, boss. I mean, as long as you're able to join us, that's all we can ask for. But straight off the bat, Jereem, talk to me. You know, I remember how disappointed you were after the Olympic finals, 43.78, just missing out on the medal by 400ths of a second. Have you come to terms now with the performance and how great it was, notwithstanding the fact that you did not end up on the podium?
It took me a while. I felt I had so much mixed emotions in the beginning. Like, I was happy, I was sad, I was numb. It was just hard for me to deal with all these emotions. It took me actually some weeks after for me to actually realize that I ran 43 seconds. Like, that was something I couldn't come to terms with, because it's like, you know, you run something so fast, but because you didn't get any hardware to show for it, it was like, you know, you can't really fully enjoy the moment, you know. So definitely something I'm proud of. I'm blessed to be able to run this fast, but it definitely still is a hard blow for me to, you know, not have something tangible, something physical to show for such a great performance. But I mean, can't be too mad at myself. That's the best race I've ever executed. That's the fastest I've ever ran. So I'm still grateful, still thankful for that.
And of course, it's back to back as well, because you did run 43 in the semifinals as well. So you know, it's a.
No. Yeah, I was 44.31.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
My apologies. But so, you know, after you know the performance 43.78. I mean, this is a race in which the top 5 men were all under 44 seconds, something that's never happened before. You know, have you had a conversation with Coach Brahman about the performance itself and, you know, putting some things into perspective?
Yeah, I did. He was very happy. He was elated. Obviously, he was also a bit disappointed because, I mean, I was supposed to get a medal. I'm his first 43-second athlete, so he's also proud of that as a coach. All in all, I mean, he was very happy. Talking to him about it, he was like, and I heard this from not just him, but a lot of other coaches who congratulated me after too. They was like, it's because of you the race was that fast.
For real.
I don't want to take the props for it, but I mean, I had no choice but to go out that fast, because I know that they would have expected me to go out, and I know that they would have gone out because they expect me to go out, so I had no choice but to go out, you know?
Indeed. So, Jereem, I mean, big run, you know what I'm saying? 43.7. Not many quarter milers can boast that they have posted a time like that. But do you think, Jereem, not to dwell on it too much, but do you think you could have done anything different in the final, or you just have it as your best race possible?
I sat down and I thought about it. In that time, in that space, not knowing what's going to happen, how it's going to play out, that was the best executed race I could have possibly executed at that point in time.
Yes.
Now, after looking it over,
yes,
maybe there's one or two things that I could have done a little bit different. I probably could have gone out a little bit more conservative, but if you had asked me that before, I wouldn't have known. I think the splits was 20:46 through the first 200 meters, and to me, honestly, it didn't even feel so fast. I felt like it was like 20.6.
Right. Wow. Now, to the people that don't understand that fully, 20:46 for your first 200, that is blistering.
You know, I think I think I could go out that same 20:46 again with more training, a little bit more strength. Maybe the last 5 meters or so could be changed. That's kind of where I lost the medal. But at that point, that was all I could have given. I could only look back now and critique it, but in the race itself, that's the best executed race I've ever had.
Yes.
So, Jereem, of course, every season you start from zero again, huh?
Yeah.
How do you build on this? You look at the different phases of your race. You mentioned the 2046 split for the first 200. Is it more strength? Is it more endurance work? Is it a combination of speed and endurance that you need to probably work on to even shave off a few more fractions off of that time to get down, especially when the World Championships are coming up in Tokyo next September? What do you see from right now, looking back at that race, where those incremental improvements could get you even faster in time for Tokyo?
Why I say I could improve, I just honestly need to get a bit stronger. Where I lacked, honestly, is where I lost a medal, and that was in the last 4-5 meters, 5-10 meters. That's where I think I would need to get a bit stronger. And as time goes on, I'm an athlete that learns each and every race. I learn from my mistakes and I get better each and every time. So this race is going to be one of those races where I put into the memory bank and say, well, okay, this is what I could have done different. But then, as you rightfully said, each and every season starts from zero, So for me now, starting at zero this time, next season, I can't really compare it too much on this upcoming season. I mean, last season, sorry. So I will just have to see how next season goes and then adjust from there on now. But I'm very optimistic about it, honestly. I mean, it actually kind of soaking it now that, 43.7. I'm a 43-point runner now. So, I think that I am definitely capable, and I think I have the ability to go faster.
Which leads me to my next question. Now that you've broken through the barrier mentally, then you are at least halfway prepared to getting back there, because mentally you know what it feels like. It's about getting your body to then follow suit. Is that the case for you?
Yeah, definitely. This group of quarter milers is so talented. It's so different. Much and big up to Karani James one time. I feel like he doesn't get his flowers enough. We definitely do give him it in the Caribbean, but this is a little bit off record, but off topic, I would say. But when I really think about Karani James, what he has done over the years in track and field, to still be running this fast, such a humble guy, it motivates me each and every season. And I would have never thought that at age 30 I would have been running 43 seconds. Don't get me wrong, I think I always had the talent to do it, but I didn't think it would have taken me this long. But I mean, God's timing is best, so I'm thankful for when it came. And Karani definitely gives me hope that you could continue a career once you stay healthy, once you treat your body right. It could definitely benefit you in the long run when you get into your 30s as an athlete also.
But you split.
I went off topic and I forget where you asked.
No worries.
No,
But I was
fine.
good enough. I said regardless.
Yeah.
But you already had split 43 at the World Championships on your relay leg. We probably should have given you an indication that it was very possible for you over the flat 4, because I remember that relay leg at the World Championships in London in 2017. You were phenomenal on that leg.
Yeah, and I've been doing it in college that entire year 2017 also. It's been easy for me in college. A 4x4 is very easy for me to split 43 seconds or to run a part. It's taken me years to figure out how to run an open 4. People have said for years, Jereem, you are a 400-meter runner, and I honestly didn't like to hear it. A quick backstory. I remember one of my old coaches, I came back home and I went and visited his house, Coach Trevor James, and he told me, I think you should run the 400. And people who always tell me that, I just kind of take it with a grain of salt, And this was 2022, and I remember I sat down and the amount of people that was telling me about the 400, I was like, let me take it to God. So I sat down and I prayed one time and I was like, Lord, if it is the 400 is the race that you want for me, if I'm able to run 44.5 easily, then I'll take it seriously. And the next year, I won the CAC games in the 400 meters in 44.5, and I was jogging. And in my mind, I was like, what did I just do? I can't disrespect the Lord by praying for something and not listening to him. So eventually, that's how I had to take the event serious. And I mean, now it's one of my main events. I still love the 200 though, but I mean, I run 43 seconds versus 1980. So we kind of know which one is the better one at the moment.
Wow. I mean, I wouldn't bet against you, Jereem, for next year, all being equal, to be on the podium. But Jereem, tell us, like, what does the off season look like for you now?
Off season,
Yeah.
it's very, very, very difficult. The base training, the strength training, not really my strong suit. Running over 500, 600 meters sometimes is definitely not my strong suit. I don't look forward to it, but sometimes you have to do the things that you're not good at to actually become better. You have to be out of your comfort zone to become a better athlete. So I try my best to embrace it and just try to get all the work done and finish the workouts and not keep on those workouts so that eventually when it's time to get a medal, you look back at those hard days and you tell yourself it was all worth it in the end.
But Jereem, I mean, do you know of a quarter miler that loves the 500, 600 days? I don't think that's unique to you.
But some of them do because they are stronger quarter milers. Me, I like to sprint. I like 250s
Right.
and them things. But
Yeah.
most people cry on them days for real.
Okay.
Listen, you trained with Wade, right?
Yeah.
Wade, 4303, of course, he's not the same athlete since that horrible knee injury a few years back. But, in training, what are some of the things that he's probably doing that you probably think you can raise yourself to that level? Or is it where you're more on par now?
Wade actually, and I don't want to shift off topic too much again, but Wade actually told me, 2 years ago that I was ready to run 43. He's a phenomenal athlete, a great training partner, great friend. You could never count him out at all. You can't count him out in a workout neither. He's strong, he's fast. He to me is one of the most in a sense like perfect athletes all around the board. Given that also he's one of the few athletes that broke 10 seconds, broke 20 seconds, and obviously has the world record in the 400 meters. He on the whole is just such a good athlete. Like training with somebody like him has motivated me to become the athlete that I am today, and I look forward to like training sessions with him because he always pushes me to my limit, and I try to do the same with him, especially in my stronger suits, which was the sprints.
Yeah. Have you been home since the Olympics, or are you still in Florida?
I'm currently home right now.
Oh, yeah.
Currently in Trinidad.
Okay, great. What's been the reaction to you after you returned? I can remember we had the discussion after the Racers Grand Prix, and you were telling me how, you're a little bit. It sounded like you're a little bit frustrated by the fact that back home, football and cricket seem to take pride of place, while track and field athletes like yourself, like Michelle Aye, don't get the recognition or don't get the flowers that you guys deserve. Do you think that's changing now, given what has happened in Paris with you doing what you did in Paris, and of course with the record that you've had, Commonwealth champion, two-time Commonwealth champion, world champion, relay gold medalist, and now, one of the fastest men ever out of Trinidad and Tobago. Do you feel that that's changing now?
I don't really think so. I think the popularity of the sport track and field isn't as big in Trinidad and Tobago like it is in Jamaica. Jamaica, I would say, has more of a culture of track and field. Trinidad and Tobago doesn't really have like a big culture of track and field. I wish that the public was a little bit more involved. I would say that's why I was so disappointed for not getting a medal, because I know how critics could actually be on our Olympic year. Track and field is the most watched sport on our Olympic year, the most criticized sport in Trinidad and Tobago on our Olympic year. And when you look at the stadium for support when we have Olympic trials or national championships, we don't have that type of support compared to the type of criticism we just actually get. And it hurts my heart. So that's why I really wanted to get a medal to kind of shut up some of the critics. I would say, though, it meant a lot to me. The effect I wanted to have on the general population of Trinidad and Tobago by achieving our Olympic medal, I got that effect by finishing fourth. A lot of people came out and support. A lot of people sent me messages and say, you didn't get a medal, but the effort I saw you put out today, that was worth a gold medal. like it actually had a really good reception from the general public. So I think change is being made, and people understand that now, at least with me finishing fourth, that a national record could be broken. An athlete could give 110% and still not medal, but we could still support because these are the best athletes that we have. And I mean, I commend the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago for coming out and supporting me because it meant a lot to me, especially being disappointed from not achieving a medal, you know. So I hope in the future we have more support, you know, be it from private sectors, be it from, you know, just people being interested in the sport, coming out and supporting the sport, um, you know, just having that cultural rootedness and depth in track and field that we actually know who these athletes are. We have Crifton next year. Please go out in Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm hoping to see that support starts earlier than later because it puts the youth in the sport a lot under a lot of pressure if, you know, we do have that type of support and that drive that, you know, you would see in Jamaica.
And you recently got a grant from the government, I think it was, for...
Yeah, we usually we have grant funding for elite athletes. So it's something that we have yearly. Once you apply for funding, you usually get support through the government from for a year for funding for track and field.
Okay, and I mean, how much will that go towards your preparation for next season? I mean, and the gesture, I mean, I know it's part of the policy, but how much does that go towards you preparing for next year, World Championships again?
No, well, that was actually for this year.
Okay.
Yeah, that was for this year.
All right.
But I mean, yeah, you know, track and field could become a very expensive sport.
Right.
By the time you deal with, you know, doctor visits or you know, physiotherapists, performance specialists, chiropractor, you know how that is going.
Right. Okay, Dream, a makeshift pop quiz for you, though I think the answers may be obvious. Weight room or track work?
Track work all day.
Junk food or supplements?
Junk food only because my dad has really good genes and I have my dad's genes, so for the most part I could eat anything and get away with it.
Lucky you.
Okay. 500s or blocked work?
500s, but I ain't.
What? Well, I guess the answers aren't that obvious then. I thought we'd go with block work. Okay. 4x4 or the flat 400?
4x4, it's easier.
Okay.
Talk to me, Jereem. There's been a lot of criticism of the N3s, huh? And I don't want you to feel like we're targeting them because we're not. I was trying to have an understanding. We've heard people like Atto come out and say that things need to change in Trinidad as it relates to track and field. We've heard other criticism from other quarters about, you know, how things are in Trinidad and Tobago with the talent. I mean, we're talking about from Hazley Crawford through Atto Bolden, you know, yourself, Lendor, you know, there's so many names, Michelin Baptiste, all of these star athletes, especially IA. What is it that you feel is lacking in Trinidad's track and field? Why, you know, there are not more athletes like yourself, more athletes like an Atto Bolden, more athletes like a Michelle IA, more athletes like a Kishore and Walcott, who are, I mean, Tyrese, for example, Horsford had to retire because of injury issues. But, you know, what is it that you think needs to be done in Trinidad to develop more talent like yourself that will eventually go on to represent Trinidad at the highest levels?
So this is a conversation that is widely spoken about with me, my peers, and I mean, obviously, a year Olympic year like this, track and field gets the eye now, so then everybody kind of talking about it too. I feel like a lot of entities tend to get very defensive because blame is always set on one person or one entity. When I sit down and think about how track and field could develop and be better in Trinidad and Tobago, I don't want to say I would blame anyone, but I think it needs to be a group effort to get better. From the association to the government to the community to the schools. There's so much factors and so many factors of how track and field could develop and become a better sport where we could now foster more talent. We could help athletes get to college. We could help collegiate athletes who come back to Trinidad and Tobago have some way to train. Even the coaches, I would even put some blame on the athletes too. When I look back at my generation, I was able to run with Marshall Sideno, Issa Guevara, Tion Lewis. There was a lot of us. A lot of us went to college.
Yes.
Now there's less and less, and we don't see the type of depth that there was in Trinidad and Tobago in the past. I sometimes kind of blame the athletes too in a way, because I feel like they maybe don't want it as bad as we want it, but then also they don't have as maybe the structure that we had, or they have more distractions that we didn't have. There's a lot of factors, I would say, that dictates why we don't have the type of talent. But I think if I had to just specifically answer your question, we need more structure all around the board to facilitate success in track and field. From the coaching level to the association level to the government level, we need more structure in track and field and more support, be it from private to the community level. I'm not saying this to blame anyone, but if the goal is to get sport better in Trinidad and Tobago, we need to now kind of put aside feeling like you're being blamed, and realize that the goal is to become better as a nation. Because next Olympic Games, we want to be able to see the same young athletes that did well in Perth there be there at the Olympic Games, or at least get a scholarship or get an education out of it. And I think when you look at just the betterment of your country, I think you could put aside, all differences and say, well, okay, this works for the betterment of country. And I think that's why I would say the solution would be, and maybe also what the problem is. There's many factors, not just one thing.
All right, Jereem, we're out of time, but thank you so much for joining us. When do you go back to Florida?
At the end of the month.
All right, well, all the best. Looking forward to seeing you on the track again
Blessings.
in Tokyo. All the blessings, my brethren. And of course,
time.
we're rooting for you here all over the place as well. So looking forward to
much appreciated.
Yeah, man, take it easy and enjoy the night.
Yes. Jereem, humble youth, yeah, man.
One of the best.
Yes,
one of the best, one of the absolute best.
Indeed.
One of the things that I've always liked from him was at college. That was the first time we actually spoke with him.
Okay.
And he was always a fascinating young man. He's very honest, very pure. And it's not often that you get a chance to talk to people.
He mentioned another name that I thought that person was going to be a really super quarter miler.
Who said that?
Yes.
Yeah, 44.01. Actually, he was the first person for run 44.01 and not medal.
I was watching
Jereem
him from
broke his own record.
Carifta,
Great.
Yeah.
But that's a wrap, folks. I mean, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and, of course, comment and like and share our content. Hope you enjoyed our chat with Jereem Richards. And, of course, coming next week, we're back, coming straight out of the blocks to you with more inspiring track and field guests with amazing stories. So until then, on behalf of the birthday boy, D Major, belated birthday, happy birthday.
Yeah,
and we'll talk again next week on Out the Blocks. Adios. Bye-bye.